So if you travel, if you visit different places around the world, it's always fun to collect something, whether it's a souvenir or a piece of artwork. And I've done this with a few things, but my prized collection is nativity scenes. And it's something that I do with my wife. I collect nativity scenes from around the world. And in this video, I'm going to show you the very best of my collection. This first one here is actually one of my favorites. I picked this up in Porto, Portugal a few years ago. It's made out of balsa wood, and you can see the wise men walking up the steps to meet the Christ child. Now, if you're in Europe, a lot of times nativity scenes are easy to find, but that's not true everywhere. This next one I picked up in Greece, and for whatever reason, in Greece, nativity scenes are much harder to find. You find a lot of icons and a lot of Christian things, but nativity scenes aren't too easy to come by. I was lucky to find this one right in the heart of Athens in a little Christian bookstore. Every single one of these nativities has a story behind it, some more significant than others. This one I picked up last year. I was with my family in Costa Rica, and we found it at a gift store, and a beautiful, colorful nativity. Next up, this one I picked up also this last year in Russia, just about a block outside of Red Square in the heart of Moscow. Had a real fun conversation with the gift shop owner when I bought this. Each of the nativities in this video were purchased in the country that I'm mentioning. However, I try to go a step further and look for something that's handcrafted in the country and not made elsewhere. The one exception might be this one. I picked it up in Tokyo. It was extremely hard to find any nativities in Tokyo, but this one may or may not have been made in Japan. This one was handcrafted in Italy. I picked it up on the shores of Lake Como in the town of Bellagio in 2015. The pieces just fit beautifully together. It's handcrafted. Nativities are relatively easy to find in Italy. You can find some beautiful pieces for any collection. Here we have a really small nativity that I picked up in Prague, Czech Republic. And next up is one from Argentina, a beautiful one that I found there back in 2017. Sometimes you don't need to hunt very much at all. This one we picked up in Belize. It was with my wife. We went on a cruise, and it was just at a gift shop right near the cruise terminal. This one comes from the Philippines, a very Christian country, and found it at a gift shop. You can find nativities pretty much anywhere if you look in the Philippines. This next one isn't really a full nativity. It's just a figurine with Mary and the Christ child and some beautiful stonework. Picked it up in Brazil. Had a difficult time finding anything in Brazil because I was there in March. If you're there in the wrong season, it can be tough to find a nativity set. I picked up this next piece in Mumbai, India. I'd been searching for about 3 days, and finding a nativity scene in Mumbai is difficult. In a Hindu country, you're not going to find a lot of them. And literally the last gift store I went into before I had to catch my flight, I found this piece. It's made out of a heavy metal composite. The thing weighs more than you think it would. Next up from the Netherlands is this Delft blue, which is the pottery style that is so popular in Holland. And you can find pieces like this, which are kind of neat, all throughout the country in just about any gift store. I'm really fond of this next piece, which I picked up in France. I was in Paris and was looking through some gift stores in the neighborhood directly behind the Notre Dame Cathedral, and came across this piece, and I really like it. Very artsy and kind of fits what you think of with France. This one comes from Thailand. I got it in Bangkok. Another situation where I was searching kind of high and low throughout Bangkok and finally found this. Christmas is a big deal in Bangkok, but you do have to look to find something more than just the Santa Claus stuff. I got this one as a gift for my wife in Cape Town, South Africa. An interesting piece with Mary and the Christ Child on the donkey. It's also one of the more fragile pieces in our collection. This next one I purchased with my wife in Barcelona, Spain. I love it with the stained glass here. It's unique. We bought it in the gift shop of the Sagrada Familia Cathedral. I picked this one up in Germany, and you can find many different nativities in Germany with the Christmas markets, which are so popular there. This one's rather simple. West of Germany, you have Belgium, which is one of my favorite countries, an underrated place to visit. I love the gold accents on this one. I got this one in the town of Bruges, which is a fantastic place. This next one comes from Denmark in Copenhagen. There's a place called Tivoli Gardens, and I found it in a gift shop there. This one I picked up in the Middle East in the United Arab Emirates. I just found this in kind of a big supermarket, but I thought it was kind of unique enough and had a Middle Eastern flair to it. The UAE is surprisingly westernized. People speak English there, and I found a few different nativities when I was there, but I like this one the best. This one comes from Norway. I used to, a few years ago, work for a Norwegian company, and so I'd often travel there many times in January, right after the Christmas season, and that's where I picked this one up. I particularly like the angel with this set. This one was an original from my wife's collection, so it's one of the older nativities that we have. It's from Mexico. And coming up here, you've got one from England that I picked up a few years ago. It's from the Winchester Cathedral in southern England, which is one of the larger cathedrals in all of Europe. And a smaller collection. The figurines are smaller, but I particularly like the wise man in this collection. This is a special one. It's made from a blue glass-like material, and I purchased this with my wife and my oldest daughter. We got it in Peru. We were traveling to Machu Picchu and found it at a gift shop in a town called Aguas Calientes, which is right at the base of Machu Picchu. I got this one in Sri Lanka. Had to search high and low for it. In fact, I had a tout who was helping me out, and we searched for hours and finally found this one at a store right next to the Catholic Church. What really surprised me is the next one here, which comes from Hong Kong. I thought Hong Kong, with the British influence, that there would be more Christian shops around, more places that might have a nativity, and I just could not find one anywhere. I searched high and low all throughout Hong Kong. Finally found this in a little shop, but it was a hard thing to find this one. Getting down towards the end of our list now, this one comes from the good old USA, and my wife's cousin made these, handcrafted these, kind of the swaddled cloth look. Very artsy, beautiful, made out of, I think, a porcelain, and kind of a unique take on the nativity scene. This one comes from Israel. In fact, it comes right from Jerusalem, and you can find these all over if you ever visit Jerusalem. My wife has this one from her original collection, and I love the handiwork. It's very detailed, beautiful piece. Finally, to finish things up here, we have 5 different sets. These all come from Ecuador. And this first one in particular is made from a ceramic material. It's very colorful, very detailed. It's also extremely fragile. You also have these other sets that are made from wood. They're hand-carved and hand-painted. And the story here is all 5 of these represent my wife's collection that she started as a missionary in Ecuador. She was there for 18 months back in 2000 and 2001. She picked these up along the way. I have since piggybacked onto this idea of collecting nativities, and we now have dozens, but it all started from these 5 that she got in Ecuador. One fun tradition that we like to do in January as we're putting away the nativities for the year, we will pull out the angel figurines. Some of the nativities have angel figurines. We'll pull them out and we'll display them on our bookshelf all throughout the year. Kind of a fun little way to showcase them as our guardian angels. There you have it, over 30 different nativity sets from all around the world. A fun thing to collect if you're ever traveling abroad.